You crouch down in front of a strange dog and you do the friendliest thing you know how to do. You smile. Big, warm teeth showing, the universal human signal for, no harm. But here is what you may not realize. To a lot of animals, what you just did isn't friendly at all. Baring your teeth is one of the oldest threats in nature. To a wolf, a chimp, a huge slice of the animal kingdom, a mouth full of exposed teeth means back off. So when you flash that warm smile at an animal, what is it actually seeing, a gesture of kindness or a flash of aggression? It has to decide whether to trust. This is one of those questions that seems simple until you pull on it, and then it unravels into something that reaches all the way back to where our own smile came from. Let's start with the teeth because that is the heart of it. In the natural world, showing your teeth is almost never friendly. A snarling wolf pulls its lips back to display its fangs. A threatened cat bares its teeth and hisses. A baboon yawns wide to flash a mouthful of long canines at a rival. Across countless species, exposed teeth are a weapon put on display, a clear ancient signal that says, I am armed, and I am warning you. It is one of the most widely understood messages in all of nature, written into creatures that have never met and never could. And it means the opposite of welcome. So how did humans end up with a gesture where we show our teeth to signal warmth? It seems almost backwards, like we took the universal sign for danger and decided it would mean love. The answer is that our smile probably started in the same place as everyone else's bared teeth, as something closer to fear than joy. Look at our closest relatives. In chimpanzees and other primates, there is an expression called the fear grin, or silent bared teeth display. The animal pulls its lips back and shows its teeth, and it looks unsettlingly like a human smile. But it isn't happiness. Originally, it is a signal of fear, nervousness, or submission. A way of saying, please don't hurt me, I'm not a threat, I'm no danger to you. A lower-ranking chimp flashes it at a more dominant one to keep the peace. It is the face of an animal trying to avoid a fight. But here is the fascinating part. Over evolutionary time in primates, that appeasement signal began to soften into something else. If baring your teeth says, I'm not a threat, it is only a short step from there to I'm friendly, and another short step to I'm glad to see you. In some primate species, that same expression has already picked up a warmer, more social meaning, a marker of reassurance and bonding, not just submission. Our warm human smile may be the far end of that long journey, a threat display, turned slowly inside out over millions of years, until it came to mean its own exact opposite, which is a beautiful irony. The smile you give an animal to show kindness is in deep evolutionary terms, a distant cousin of a nervous animal flashing its teeth to avoid a fight. The warmest thing your face can do began as one of the most fearful. But that leaves the animal in front of you with a genuine problem. Because it didn't necessarily come along on that journey with us. It didn't inherit our version of the story. So here is the real question. Can animals actually learn to read a human smile correctly, to see past the teeth, override the old instinct, and understand the kindness we mean by it? And this is where it gets remarkable, because some of them absolutely can. Dogs are the standout, and it makes sense why. They've spent tens of thousands of years evolving alongside us, in a relationship built almost entirely on reading each other. No other animal has studied the human face for as long or as closely, and they've become astonishingly good at it. In one striking set of experiments, dogs were shown photographs of human faces displaying different emotions, some happy, some angry, and the dogs could reliably tell them apart. They responded differently to the smiling faces than to the hostile ones. In some versions, they could even do it when shown only part of a face, or the face of a person they had never met before, which means they weren't just memorizing specific individuals they knew. They had formed a general concept, this configuration of a human face is friendly, that one is not think about what that means. A dog whose distant ancestors would have read bared teeth as a threat and nothing else has cracked the code of the human smile. It has learned, both as a species over thousands of years and as an individual growing up in a home full of grinning humans, to override the ancient instinct and read our strangest expression correctly. When your dog sees you smile, there is good evidence it really is registering something like this person is happy and safe, rather than this person is baring their teeth at me. And dogs go further because they don't read the mouth alone. They read the whole picture. They take in your eyes, whether they're crinkled and soft or hard and staring. They read your voice, your posture, the looseness or tension in your body. A genuine smile almost never arrives by itself. It comes wrapped in a relaxed body, a gentle tone, an open posture, and dogs are experts at reading that entire package at once. They're not decoding a mouth in isolation, the way we might puzzle over a single emoji. They're reading you, the whole animal in front of them, and the smile is just one piece of a much larger signal they've learned to interpret. But it is not the same for every animal, and this is where we have to be honest. A dog that grew up loved, surrounded by smiling faces attached to food and play and affection, learns early that a smile is a good thing. But many animals never get that lesson at all. To a wild animal, or a fearful one, or a species that hasn't spent millennia at our side learning our ways, a human baring its teeth may still read exactly as instinct insists it should, as a threat. This is precisely why animal experts warn people not to grin directly at a nervous dog or at a chimp or other primate. You think you're being warm and disarming. The animal may think you're squaring up for a fight, issuing a challenge right to its face. The same gesture, the very same arrangement of a human mouth, read in two completely opposite languages depending on who is looking. And this is where science slams into a wall. Because even with the dog that clearly reacts to your smile, that clearly prefers the happy face to the angry one, we run into the same old limit. We can prove the dog distinguishes a smile from a scowl. We can measure that it behaves differently toward each. What we cannot do is climb inside its head and know whether it understands the smile the way you mean it, whether it grasps the feeling of happiness behind it, or has simply learned, in a purely practical way, that this face shape tends to be followed by good things and that face shape tends to be followed by bad ones. Those are two very different kinds of understanding. One is recognizing a signal. The other is understanding an emotion. A dog might know, with great reliability, that your smile means treats, walks, and belly rubs are probably coming, without having any concept whatsoever of happiness as an inner feeling that you are experiencing. It could be reading the smile flawlessly while understanding nothing of what it actually is. Or it could be doing something far richer, genuinely sensing the warmth and the good feeling behind your face. From the outside, watching the dog's tail wag, the two possibilities look absolutely identical, and we have no way yet to tell them apart. And yet, there is the pattern we keep meeting in every one of these questions. The animals that seem to read us most deeply, that greet our smiles with what looks unmistakably like real joy, are the ones we're most closely bonded to, the ones who have spent their whole lives studying our faces at close range. Whatever understanding is there, however deep or shallow it runs, it grows in exactly the place you'd expect it to, in the space between a human and an animal that have learned over years of shared life to read each other. So think back to that moment, crouched down in front of a strange dog, offering it your warmest, most reassuring smile. If that dog grew up loved, it may look at your bared teeth and feel, on some level, safe reading straight past 100,000 years of instinct to find the kindness you meant by it. And if it didn't grow up that way, if it never learned our strange dialect of the face, it may see something far older and more dangerous in your grin, and back cautiously away from a threat you never intended to make. Either way, there is something humbling in it. The smile that feels so obvious to us, so plainly and universally kind, isn't obvious at all. It is a strange, layered, complicated signal, half warmth, half ancient warning, that every animal has to decode in its own way through its own history with us. And the fact that any of them ever learned to see the love in it, past all that deep history telling them to run, might be one of the most quietly extraordinary things about the whole bond between us and them. You smile at them across a gap millions of years wide, and somehow, sometimes, they smile back.